Good day and welcome to the Leading with Nice interview series podcast. My name is Matthew Ewell and we want to help tell your story so everybody gets it. Today, I'm so excited for our guest, Anushka Bhattacharjee. And the reason I'm excited, I was at a farmer's market this summer. And there's this, there's often people selling books at farmer's markets. But when I went to this booth, it was just a handful of books and the author was there. But the author wasn't, a 20, 30, 40 plus something. It was a young woman who cannot legally drive, but has written a handful of books. So here she is today. I asked her to come on because I wanted to hear about her creative process, how she comes up with ideas.
Actually, I wrote two of the books.
And her sister is here with her, and we're going to have a great conversation. Anushka, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
So, that's okay. The sister can stay. Don't worry. The more the merrier. It'd be great if she just kind of popped her head out once in a while, because, I'm sure little sisters are never annoying, right? They're always great.
Yeah, right.
So listen, tell us about the books you've written. Tell us each title. Hold it up and show it to us.
Okay, so this one is my first book, My Magic Mirror. And it's about two kids who get sucked inside their magic mirror. And then their mirror teleports them into the story of the three little pigs. So they decide to rescue the two pigs that were originally eaten by the big bad wolf. Except then they find out that someone wants to stop them. And then this was my second book, and it's called The Wishing Tree, and it's about three kids who need to get to the wishing tree in order to stop the wasp, an escaped convict. But the wishing tree is surrounded by a bunch of evil kingdoms, so it's going to be hard getting to it. And then these two are the activity books for both of them. These two. And, they just each have a ton of, fun stuff to do, like crosswords, muses.
That's, again, it's funny, just before this phone call, I had a meeting with, a couple of 40 and 50 something folks that are working on a project, and they were just having a really hard time getting started. Like they had a lot of ideas, but they didn't know where to start. And so I'm really curious, first of all, you're young. This is not lost on you. You obviously, are aware of your age. And you've accomplished so much in this writing. But where did you get the idea to, and even more so, how did you decide, okay, this is the idea I want to write about? Because I'm sure you had a lot of ideas, but how did you land on saying, this is what I want to write about?
So I was just really bored during COVID. And then one day, I realized that the end story to the original Three Little Pigs was really bugging me because the first two little pigs were originally eaten by the big bad wolf. And so that story was really bugging me, so I decided to change it.
And not for anything, bacon's pretty tasty, so I get the big bad wolf's and motives. But were you just looking to... It sounds to me like you were trying to solve a problem. You didn't like the one ending, so you did something about it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where do you think, I don't know, sometimes people, adults, get, analysis paralysis, we call it, where they think too much about a problem and never actually get around to solving it. I'm just curious, what was it that you were able to just look at this problem, see how you wanted to solve it and do it? Where'd you learn that? Or how did you know to do that?
So I just decided to do it the easy way, just convincing the first two pigs to not build their house out of straw and sticks.
Okay.
And then I decided that it should be a little bit more interesting, so then I added a twist at the end.
Okay, so that is amazing. I love that it's such a simple solution. Don't build your house out of crap materials or bad materials. But in between having the idea and actually sitting down to type it out, you had to make a decision to do it. Was your decision purely based on your boredom, or was there some other motivation for you?
Well, I do like reading and writing a lot, so that's also like one factor. But mostly it was because I was bored during the lockdown.
Okay, that's a great. I love it. Okay, so tell me about the steps. Like, I want to hear about the actual steps you took from idea to a book being in your hands. Like, what were some of the steps that you had to take?
First, I created the title, and then I wrote a prologue. That took a little bit of time to do. Then I added like a couple of chapters. Then about the author, and then I showed it to my mom, and I wasn't sure like exactly what I was gonna do with the manuscript all done because I didn't think of like actually publishing it to a book. But my mom said it was really good, so she said that it should get published, and so it did.
And how did you keep track of the steps, the things you had to do? Did you make a list? Did you create a document to follow? What did you do?
So I've read a lot of books, so I mostly I know like the order of everything. So I didn't really need like I made a mental list basically.
Yeah, well, you know what I love about that, what you just shared? I'm going to tell you how I might interpret what you said, is you took a proven model. Like, you didn't try to reinvent anything. You just said, hey, look, all these books have been published. They have a successful model. I'm just going to copy that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound about right? Does that sound accurate? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So this might have actually happened to you already when you've been out promoting your books, but I want to give you a hypothetical situation. Somebody comes up to you and says, oh, Anushka, I have a really good idea too, but I just don't know how to make it a real thing. I don't know how to take my idea and make it into reality. What are some tips you would give them or some advice you would give them?
Wing it. Just wing it at first, and maybe go on Google and search up some ideas like on what to actually do. See if there's any like there's something called Kickstarter, which fund like it's like people people fund like your projects, so I don't really need to worry about that the like financial part that much ish.
Yep.
So Kickstarter was a great discovery, and there's a lot of other ones. But first, I would need to know like what they're even thinking of doing.
So they need to like really be really specific about what they're trying to do in order to like get started.
Yeah.
So like in your model, this was in your model, you had a very specific story you wanted to tell. You weren't just like, I want to write a book. You actually had a very specific story you wanted to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you might tell them as well, okay, like you have your specific idea, what do you need to accomplish that? So in your case, I guess you did it all on computer, I imagine, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So, and who did all the copy editing? Who did all the editing and spell check for you?
So first my mom did the editing, and then we got like a professional editor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We don't exactly know like where she's from because it's mostly like we know all that we know about her from like a computer.
Yep.
And so that and then the cover like was done by an actual artist. And then
okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. You know what I love about this is you're telling me, Anushka, like, can I just tell you, like, there are people that have no clue what you're talking about. Like, they have never thought like, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to get an expert to do the part of it that I'm not very good at. So you hired like an expert copywriter. You hired an expert artist. You didn't try to do it all yourself.
We didn't hire a copywriter though.
Oh, well, like, no, the editor though, the
Yeah,
copy
the editor, because like still like there might be like a couple of edits that an editor would help with.
Yeah. But the cover, you hired somebody, an artist, to do it.
Yeah. And
Because
then, like,
are you an artist?
Oh yeah, like for each of the books, there's like a couple of illustrations that I made. Don't know if I'm gonna try finding one because we only do one every chapter. So this one like is one I did.
Beautiful. So then, why did you get somebody to do the cover?
We just thought a professional illustrator would be good for the cover. Because like when I was that age, I did not know that much about shading and everything like this.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Okay, I love it. I mean, like, I just think it's great. Like, so often in the work I do, you know, I like you said, you are an artist, but you didn't know, you know, you're not a professional artist. There's times that in my work even that I'm thinking, okay, a client wants X, Y, and Z. Well, I can do X and Y really well, but Z I'm kind of just so at. I need to stop myself and be like, you know what? In order to put my best foot forward, I'm going to hire somebody who's an expert at Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I can imagine you did these projects, but it's not like the inspiration has stopped, has it? Are you still being inspired?
Yeah, like this one book, I'm planning to make like an entire series out of it, so that I want it to end like with this fairy being rescued or something like that. And like all of the books are building up to that one point.
Okay, and so kind of like Mario not sure if you know Mario, Super Mario. He's always trying to go from castle to castle to save a princess. So kind of this, and at the end of the game, you save the princess. Where do you get your inspiration from? What inspires you?
So mainly it's just like I just get ideas like from different dreams because I've had a couple of pretty weird dreams in my life.
And do you have any like tips for remembering your dreams? Like, how do you, like, because sometimes I forget my dreams. So what do you do?
I don't exactly forget my dreams, and whatever I do forget, I just deem as boring stuff.
Okay. And do you so? Is there a process for taking these dreams, these ideas, and refining them? Like, you know, making them better. Like, is there a way you do that?
I try describing the dreams as much as I can. And then, there might be a couple of blank spots where they somehow get from here to all the way here. So that I just fill it in with my own ideas.
Do you have other people that you discuss them with to kind of bounce them off each other, or do you journal it? Do you write them down?
For this particular book, I didn't really. I just went with it, and like for the next few books, like since it's like the first book in the series is always the easiest, because the second book you need to like remember, like, oh wait, maybe this person said something that could have been used in this book too. So, and then like the plots are gonna get harder and all of that. So, like in the second book of this series, I asked my mom for a little bit of help of like not revealing everything before page 30 when it's 100-page book. So
right. And yeah, because what I'm really curious about is, again, people who are creative like yourself sometimes have a hard time like refining and making their ideas the best they can be. And Anushka, what I think is really interesting about you is you've seemed to have figured out a way to get from idea to actual product like multiple times. And how old are you now? Like 25?
10.
You're 10.
I
Exactly.
turned 10 in like 2
I know.
weeks.
I didn't actually think you're 25, just for the record. But you've gotten multiple projects completed where people that are 3 and 4 and 5 times your age still just have the idea rolling around in their head. So I'm always curious to learn how different artists and creative people get that idea out of their head and refine it and put it into a product.
Actually, I can kind of like understand what like the people who are 2 times, 3 times, 5 times older than me, like I can see where they're getting at. Because like there's like for every one book I complete, there's another 6 that I've only gone like a couple pages in, and then just switched over to one book. So like if you have so many ideas, just and they're all like equally good, or like you don't know which one's the best or anything, just stick to maybe the one that you think is going to be the smallest, so that's going to take less time to finish, so you'll have more time for the rest.
That is really good advice. So like when you have a lot of ideas, choose the one that will take you the least effort to get out the door, like to complete.
Yeah.
That's
And
good
then,
advice.
and like really just sometimes just choose a random idea to like follow through with.
Give me an example of that for yourself.
So let's see. After I finished the manuscript for this book, instead of making a like, so I decided to there's a couple of ones, like there was one where they get like some magic object, these kids, and then like if they and like they randomly wish for something, and then it turns out to be double of what happened. So I only got as far as the title on that one, I think.
Oh.
And then there was another one. It's the same-ish thing happened, except for this one. At least I got like I think 3 pages into it before I'm like, okay, I cannot just keep on making the start to every single idea I've ever had. So I decided to make another series. The Wishing Tree. And so now what I'm focusing on is finishing because they're both series books. What I want to do now is that I want to just be done with it. Like, I just want to be finished with the series so that I can work on new series. So.
Yeah, do you have other author friends, or do you have like a network of people that do the same kind of thing that you can talk to?
We've met a couple of other chapter book authors. Like there's one, his name's Mike Doyle, and he actually lives in Clayton, which is in the US. So we met him, and he makes chapter books, which are mostly about adventure. Like these kids go off to some adventure to defeat some goblin queen or something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what do you like? I find myself personally, like I do a lot of marketing and communications type work, and I love talking to other marketing and communications professionals to get new ideas, to refine my craft, to create better processes. Do you do the same kind of thing with other authors?
Not really, because like each and every author has their own type of style of writing. Like some people just focus on like humor books. Some people do like this type, that type. So, but my sister, she does like she got inspired by me after I wrote this book, so she decided to copy me.
Oh, is that her book?
Yeah, this is her book, and it's a picture book. So at least she didn't copy me making a chapter book, but. And then she decided to make all the inner illustrations herself, and they didn't turn out half bad.
Okay. that that should be a testimonial on her cover. These aren't half bad, her sister. I love that'd be great. So listen, last question then for you. Actually, I have two more questions. So second last question, the pentultimate, I think they call that, the second last question. How do you know when you're kind of in a rut or like, the creative energy is like dragging? And what do you do in that moment? Like, how do you know when it's just, you're not feeling it, so to speak?
I just switch to another book because like
Okay.
like if you left me alone like for all day, every single day for like a year, I'd probably like be very near to the finish with about like 20 books, but maybe finished one in that entire time.
Mm, mm,
So like whenever I get bored with this book and I'm like, okay, I don't have any new ideas, I just switch to another one.
okay. All right. Okay. So last question then. Who are some of your favorite authors or what books do you like?
One of my favorite authors is J.K. Rowling.
Oh, who? J.K. Rowling. What do they do?
Okay, so she's the author of the Harry Potter series.
I know. I was only teasing. We're Harry Potter fans in our house as well.
Yeah, and then another one is Sophie Cleverly. She made the
Okay.
Scarlet and Ivy series. It's
Okay.
like they go to a school where there's a ton of like evil people there. Like, and so that's a good series. Um, I like books by Brandon Sanderson.
Okay.
He's also another famous author. He's made a lot, actually, like a lot of different types of books. Like one of them is like the Skyward series. It's like all the humans are sent to another planet,
Okay.
and they want to get back to Earth and all of that.
Cool. And do you think you might like one day write a TV show or a movie? Do you think your writing would take you that way? No,
No,
books, eh?
I want to stick to books. Like writing
Okay.
a movie is like it's very hard, like because you can't really. It's mostly action, and you can't really describe what the character's thinking and all of that.
Hmm.
That's why I prefer books over movies.
Okay.
Like the Harry Potter movies, I've watched them before, and I didn't really like them as much as the books because you didn't know what the characters were thinking.
Mm.
The main
Mm.
character.
Okay, fair enough. The yeah, I'm so what's next then for you? Like what do you have coming out next? What should we look forward to?
Actually, I finished the manuscript for 2 books. I'm almost done all the illustrations for them. I finished all the illustrations for them, and there's like all that's left is like the editing, the cover, and all of that. So the 2 books that I'm on the verge of completing is the sequel to this book, My Magic Mirror, which is called My Magic Tent. And then there's another one I decided to make an educational book for once, not one about fantasy. And it's about like the sun and everything.
Okay, that's very cool. Do you think there's a chance that I might be able to be a character in one of your books one day?
Maybe.
Okay, I like that. I'll take a maybe.
I have no idea.
Anushka, I just want to say, like, you've
Generators.
been so sorry. Pardon?
Mainly, I just use name generators. So,
No.
like, unless your name is something like really, like, I don't know, unique or something, I, I, well, what is it? Let me see. Matthew.
Well,
Okay.
Matthew Ewell. I think Matthew Ewell, like the wise old sage, who's led a life of contentment. I think that'd be a good character. Maybe who dispenses, like, kind of good advice to people. That'd be a good character.
Or
I
a
think.
date, or a double crosser. No one.
Okay, I love it. I'll take it, Anushka, or a double crosser. Accurate. Well, listen, Anushka, I got to say thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. But, you and we had this great conversation, but this didn't just happen. A lot of people helped make this happen. First of all, um, Naomi Grossman, who works here at Leading with Nice, she arranged the time for us to talk. She helped come up with the questions. She actually came up with the questions herself because she knows the things I like to ask, and she shared them with you. If you're seeing this on social media, there's two people to thank. Jamie Hunter is our content manager. He does all the social media for Leading with Nice and promotes the podcast. Jeff Anhorn is our video editor. He makes these. He makes the videos for Instagram, Facebook, etc. Amber is a project manager at Leading with Nice. While I've been working away talking to you, I see our Slack channel blowing up with her taking care of projects. Austin Pomeroy is the audio editor, so he makes all my pauses and makes all of our audio sound nice and crisp. And of course, my wife Allison, while I'm down in the basement recording podcasts, she makes sure the kids stay quiet upstairs. So if she didn't, I would have my kids jumping in like your sister was doing. And of course, thank you to your mom. I think she helped us get this coordinated as well.
Yeah.
Anushka, where can people find your books? Where can they find out more about you?
So mainly we go to a lot of events, and so there's also we're on Facebook and Instagram, and as well as we have a website, and so
what's the website address? Can you tell us the website address?
My mom can message it, but what is it? I don't remember the website address.
Anushka, we gotta listen. You need some marketing help. You need to remember the website address. That's key.
It's like this long.
That's pretty long. Well, listen. We will make sure if you want to. You. I'm not telling you. If you don't want to. You definitely want to find Anushka's books. Can we do a selfie? Do you mind if I do a selfie with you?
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Here we go. Ready? Okay, perfect. That's beautiful. Anushka, thank you so much. I can hardly wait to read your next books. I bought them at the fair, and we have enjoyed them thoroughly in our house. I love the twists in the book. They're so creative.
Thanks.
And I guess, so what are you going into grade 12 this year?
No, grade 8.
Grade 8. Okay, typical. Most grade 8s I know have 3 or 4 books under the belt.
I'm actually going to grade 5.
Grade 5? Okay, stop it. Listen, I'm the one with the jokes in this podcast. And have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.